Welcome back to Saturday Morning Coffee Break, where this morning's topic is the security champion model, turning your biggest skeptics into your best advocates. So, here's some Saturday morning wisdom. Your loudest critic might be your best security investment. What do you mean, Cletus? You know that developer who constantly complains about your security tools? The one who rolls their eyes in every security meeting and has a slack reputation for creative ways to work around your controls. Don't fire them. Go recruit them. Here's what I've learned after years of helping several different security programs. Your biggest skeptics aren't your problem, they're your solution. They just don't know it yet. That's the skeptic's superpower. That person who questions every security decision isn't being difficult for fun. They're actually asking the questions everyone else is thinking, but too polite to voice. They understand security friction hits hardest because they feel it every day. They know which controls make sense and which ones are just security theater. In other words, they have exactly the insight you need to build security that actually works. So, first is the traditional approach. Security team creates policies. The policies get rolled out to the business. Resistance happens. Security blames users for not caring. Users blame security for not understanding. Nothing really changes. Now introduce the champion model. Identify influential people in each department. Yes, exceptionally. Especially, I mean, the skeptics. Give them a voice in security decisions. Empower them to be the bridge between security and their teams. Watch them become your most effective advocates. Why skeptics make the best champions? They already have credibility. When people who's been complaining about security policies certain suddenly switches and says, actually, this new approach makes sense, people listen. They can't be dismissed as security team propaganda. They understand the real problems. Skeptics know exactly where your security controls break down in practice. They're living in the trenches, not in the ivory tower. That knowledge is invaluable for designing better security. They're already influential. People who vocalize challenges against security policies have already demonstrated leadership. Their colleagues pay attention to what they say. Why not harness that influence instead of fighting it? Next, they want things to work. Most skeptics aren't anti security, they're anti bad security. Give them a chance to help build something better, and you'll often find they're more passionate about security than anyone on your actual security team. Here comes the recruitment conversation. Here's how I've successfully recruited skeptics as security champions. It starts with respect. You say, I've noticed you have strong opinions about our security tools. You're right that some of them create unnecessary friction. I'd love your help making them better. Be honest about the challenge. Hey, we're trying to balance security with productivity. And honestly, we don't always get it right. You see where we're failing every day. Help us fix it. Next, you got to make it worth their time. This isn't about adding more meetings to their calendar. It's about giving you influence over our security decisions that will impact and affect your work. They help paint the vision. Imagine if security tools actually made your job easier instead of harder. That's what we're trying to build, and we need people like you who understand the real problem to help us get there. So, what security champions actually do for your program? The beauty of the champion model is that it's flexible. Champions aren't security employees. They're advocates that are embedded into several different teams across your organization. They help translate and give context. When security needs to roll out a new policy, champions help translate it into language their teams understand and will provide context about why it matters for the specific work. They're also an early warning system. Champions alert you to security issues bubbling up in their departments before they become major problems. They're your eyes and ears where the security team can't be. They're an excellent source for a feedback loop. When a security control creates unexpected friction, champions bring that feedback directly to you, often with suggestions for fixes based on real usage patterns. Champions build your culture. They model good security behavior in their teams, not through preaching, but through practical examples and peer influence. They're your local problem solving body. Many security questions can be answered by champions without involving your security team, reducing the bottlenecks and building security knowledge throughout your entire organization. They also invest, they're an investment that will pay for itself. Starting a security program, a champion program that is, doesn't require a massive budget or even additional headcount. Here's the minimal viable approach. In your first month, recruit 5 or 10 champions. Look for influential people across the departments. Include at least 1 or 2 skeptics. Have the initial conversation. Make it invitation only and special. Month 2, give them inside access. Create a private Slack channel or Teams channel. Share security roadmap plans before they go public. Ask them for feedback. Make them feel like partners, not just another audience. And in month 3, empower their voice. When rolling out new security initiatives, let the champions help shape the message to their teams. Give them talking points, but let them translate into their own words. Ongoing, recognize and appreciate public recognition in team meetings, small perks like early access to new tools. Most importantly, actually implement their feedback and show that their voice matters. So here's a transformational story. Let me share a real world example with you. I once worked with a company where their most vocal security critic was a senior engineer, and we'll call him Marcus. He was a legendary Slack thread documenting every way their security controls slowed down development. Instead of fighting Marcus, the CISO invited him to a monthly security architecture review just to listen and provide feedback. No commitment required. First meeting, Marcus spent 45 minutes explaining why their certificate management process was broken. The security team listened and actually implemented 2 of his suggestions. Within 6 months, Marcus had become the most effective security advocate in the engineering department. Not because he had suddenly loved security, but because he felt heard. He went from security always gets in the way to security is trying to make my work and your work better. His skepticism didn't disappear, it became laser focused on making security better instead of just complaining about it. But some common pitfalls to avoid. Don't turn your security champions into security enforcers. Don't ask champions to police their teams and report violations. That destroys trust immediately. They're advocates and educators, not deputies, making it all take and no give. If you're just using your champions to push your agenda without incorporating their feedback, they'll quit and they'll tell everyone why they did. Next, do not ignore their input. Nothing kills a champion program faster than asking for feedback and then ignoring it. If you can't implement a suggestion, explain why, but implement what you can. Never let it become a ghost program. Champions need ongoing engagement, not just an initial kickoff and then silence. Have regular touch points. Keep momentum alive. So, getting towards the end of this, your coffee break action plan. So this Saturday morning, make a list. In your first column, put the people in your organization who frequently push back on security policies. In the next column, what specific complaints do they have? And in your third column, are their complaints valid? And please be honest with yourself here. Now, pick one person from that list, just one. This week, have a conversation with them, not to defend your security posture, but to genuinely ask, how would you fix this? You might be surprised by what happens when you transform a critic into a collaborator. So, your challenge this week is to identify one influential skeptic. Schedule a coffee, chat, virtual or in person. Ask their opinion on your biggest security friction point. Actually listen without defending and implement one of their suggestions. Remember, you can't build security culture alone, and trying to force it through mandates and policies doesn't work. But when you turn your most vocal critics into your most trusted advisors, that's when real change happens. So, to recap, here's your security champion quick start checklist. Identify 5 to 10 influential people across your departments, making sure you include at least one known skeptic. Create a private communication channel. Share security roadmap for feedback. Recognize their contributions publicly. Implement champion suggestions. And make sure you schedule regular touch points. So thank you for tuning in this morning. Hope you enjoyed this Saturday morning coffee break. My name's Fluidus Poston. And as always, I hope you stay safe and stay secure, everyone.